I
You
know
did
this is a
everything
lot to
right.
take in,
You went for your
but we
walks, hit
have
your step count,
several
stayed
options moving
active,
forward that
and your
have
doctor
shown great
probably told you
success.
that was enough to keep your legs in good shape. But walking doesn't rebuild the quadriceps muscle that keeps your knees stable. It doesn't strengthen the hip flexors that help you climb stairs without gripping the railing. If your legs feel weaker now than they did 5 years ago despite all that walking, there's one exercise you can do in bed that targets those exact muscles. 5 years before the stair railing became a necessity, your quadriceps were doing the heavy lifting on every step. You stood up from chairs without thinking about it. You climbed a flight of stairs carrying groceries in both hands. Walking was easy because the muscles underneath were still strong enough to support it. Walking is a maintenance activity. It keeps your heart rate up, your circulation moving, and your joints from stiffening. But the motion of walking is almost entirely forward and back. Your foot pushes off behind you, your leg swings forward, and you repeat. The quadriceps, that large muscle on the front of your thigh, barely has to fire during a flat walk. It stays at a low hum. And the hip flexors, the muscles that lift your knee toward your chest, only engage enough to clear your foot off the ground. So while you were walking faithfully for years, the two muscle groups most responsible for climbing stairs, getting out of chairs, and catching yourself before a fall were losing mass without you noticing. According to a review published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, the quadriceps loses muscle faster than any other thigh muscle group as you age. The hamstrings and inner thigh muscles decline too, but the quads take the biggest hit. And that decline speeds up over time. The same review found that quad atrophy accelerates after 70, compared to the rate in your 60s. A 2024 study published in Frontiers in Public Health confirmed the real-world impact of that loss. Researchers found that thicker quadriceps fibers correlated with better balance, faster walking speed, and the ability to stand from a seated position without using your hands. When those fibers thin out, all of those abilities weaken together. This is not just about leg strength on its own. A longitudinal study published in PLOS One tracked community-dwelling older adults and measured muscle power across the hips, knees, and ankles. Hip flexor power turned out to be a protective factor against falls. Even a modest gain in hip flexor strength reduced the likelihood of falling over the following year. Quadriceps strength also matters more for stair climbing ability than balance does in older adults with knee problems. That pattern has been confirmed across multiple studies. So you have two muscles that weaken with age, that walking undertrains, and that both respond to the same exercise you can do lying flat in bed. It is called a straight leg raise. You lie on your back and lift one leg straight up while keeping the knee locked. That is the entire movement. The bed itself adds something a hard floor does not. A mattress absorbs some of the pressure on your lower back, which makes the position more comfortable for anyone with spinal stiffness or disc issues. It also means you can do the exercise before you have committed to getting up for the day. For someone whose legs feel stiff and uncertain first thing in the morning, strengthening them before standing changes the routine entirely. You are already lying down. Your legs are already straight. The movement starts from the position you are already in. No changing clothes, no driving to a gym, no setup. But do not let the simplicity fool you. Starting with 5 repetitions on each side might feel too easy. Doing those 5 with proper form, holding each one at the top, and controlling the descent on the way down is where the real demand hides. When you lift a straight leg off the mattress, your quadriceps contracts fully to hold the knee in extension. Your hip flexors engage to lift the weight of your entire leg against gravity. And your core activates to keep your pelvis from rocking side to side. 3 muscle groups working from one movement, with no stress on the knee joint. Physical therapists have prescribed straight leg raises for decades after knee surgery, hip replacement, and rehabilitation from falls. The exercise loads the quadriceps without bending the knee, which means it strengthens the muscle without putting pressure on the joint. If you have knee pain, arthritis, or stiffness that makes squats or lunges uncomfortable, the straight leg raise works around all of it. Here is how to do it properly. Lie flat on your back in bed. A pillow under your head is fine. Bend your left knee and place your left foot flat on the mattress. This supports your lower back and keeps your pelvis stable. Before you begin the lift, practice the contraction on its own. With your right leg flat on the bed, tighten the quadriceps and hold for 5 seconds. Release. Do that 3 times. This teaches your muscle to fire on command and confirms you are engaging the right muscle before adding the movement. Now straighten your right leg completely and tighten the quad again. You should feel the kneecap pull slightly upward when the muscle is fully engaged. That contraction matters. It turns a simple leg lift into a targeted strengthening exercise. Keeping that tightness, slowly raise your right leg until your right thigh is roughly parallel with your bent left thigh. You do not need to go higher. For some people, the foot ends up about 10 to 12 inches off the mattress. For others, less. Lift to where you feel the quad working, not to where it hurts. Hold the leg at the top for 2 full seconds. Then lower it slowly, taking about 3 seconds to bring it back down. Do not let it drop. The lowering phase, where the muscle lengthens under tension, is where a significant portion of the strengthening happens. Physical therapists call this the eccentric phase, and it produces adaptations that the lifting phase alone does not. After your right leg, switch to the left. Same setup. Bend the right knee, plant the right foot, extend the left leg, tighten the quad, lift, hold, lower with control. A few form details that protect you. Keep your toes pointed toward the ceiling, not rotated outward. When the foot turns out, the hip rotator muscles take over some of the work and the quadriceps gets less activation. Toes up, straight line from hip to heel. If your lower back lifts off the mattress during the raise, the load is more than your core can handle right now. Place both hands under the small of your back for support or reduce how high you lift the leg. You can build height gradually. Protecting the lower back is more important than reaching any specific angle. Breathe normally throughout every repetition. Holding your breath during exertion raises blood pressure temporarily. For an exercise designed to be safe and accessible, steady breathing keeps it that way. If you are finding this helpful, consider subscribing. There are more videos like this on the channel, covering strength and mobility after 60. By the end of the second week, you may not see a visible change in the mirror. That is expected. The early gains from strength training are neurological, not muscular. Your brain gets better at recruiting the muscle fibers that already exist. You may notice that the leg shakes less during the hold, or that you can sustain the top position longer without effort. The contraction feels more controlled, less uncertain. Those are signs your nervous system is adapting. The muscle gets the signal faster and with more precision. A 2025 systematized review, published in the journal Musculoskeletal Care, found that consistent quadriceps training over 6 to 12 weeks produced measurable improvements in both strength and daily function. The muscle fibers themselves begin to thicken around the 4-week mark. But the functional changes you notice when standing up or climbing stairs often arrive earlier because of that neural adaptation. If 5 repetitions on each side feels manageable without shaking or losing form, try 8. When 8 is comfortable after a few days, move to 10. Over weeks, you can build toward 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions on each side. According to the exercise rehabilitation resource Melio Guide, keeping the range of motion moderate and focusing on muscular control produces better strength outcomes than rushing through higher counts with sloppy form. The daily routine is straightforward. 5 to 10 minutes in bed, once or twice a day, before you get up in the morning or before you settle in at night. Many people find that pairing the exercise with something they already do makes it easier to maintain. Before getting out of bed in the morning, do your set. Before turning off the lamp at night, do your set. Connecting the exercise to an existing routine removes the need to remember or motivate yourself separately. Over a few weeks, it becomes automatic. Then you start noticing changes outside the exercise itself. The stair railing is still there, but your grip on it loosens. Getting out of a low car seat takes 1 push instead of 2 attempts. You walk a longer distance before your legs feel heavy. For someone over 60, the ability to stand from a chair without pushing off with your arms is a clinical marker that physical therapists use to assess fall risk and independence. Strengthening the quadriceps directly improves performance on that assessment. And the hip flexor benefit compounds over time. When your hip flexors are stronger, your stride gets longer. You lift your feet higher with each step without concentrating on it. Fewer stumbles over curbs, rug edges, and uneven sidewalks. That feeling of confidence when you walk, the sense that your legs will hold you if you need to stop suddenly or step sideways to avoid something on the ground, comes from the same muscles the straight leg raise trains. When those muscles are strong, your body trusts them. When they are weak, you walk more cautiously, take shorter steps, and keep your weight low. That caution is your body compensating for muscles it cannot rely on to react in time. Walking 30 minutes a day and doing straight leg raises for 5 minutes in bed are not competing activities. They are partners. Walking maintains your cardiovascular health, keeps your joints lubricated, and supports your mood. The straight leg raise builds the specific muscles that walking cannot challenge enough on its own. If you have been walking faithfully and still feel your legs getting weaker, nothing is wrong with your effort. You are simply missing one piece. The quadriceps and hip flexors need targeted resistance to maintain and rebuild, and gravity pulling against a straight leg provides exactly that. No gym, no equipment, no standing required. For those managing knee arthritis, the straight leg raise is especially useful because it loads the quadriceps without forcing the knee through its pain-producing range of motion. The Musculoskeletal Care Review found that exercises strengthening the quad without excessive knee bending are among the most tolerable and effective approaches for people with knee osteoarthritis. Straight leg raises at bodyweight intensity are gentle enough that daily practice is generally safe. If you feel sore the next morning, rest that day. If your legs feel fine, continue. Your body gives clear feedback. Once the basic movement feels easy, 2 progressions are worth trying. First, extend the hold at the top from 2 seconds to 5. The longer the quadriceps sustains the contraction under load, the more fibers it recruits. Physical therapists call this time under tension, and it is one of the simplest ways to increase the difficulty without any equipment. Second, add a light ankle weight. Even 1 or 2 pounds changes the demand significantly when your leg is fully extended. Start lighter than you think you need. You can always add weight over time. You cannot undo a strained muscle. Your quadriceps holds your kneecap in place, absorbs impact when you step off a curb, and powers every sit-to-stand movement you make in a day. Think about how many times that is. Every time you get off the couch, out of bed, up from a dining chair, out of a car. When the quad weakens, every one of those moments gets harder, and you start avoiding the ones that feel the most difficult. The chair that used to be fine gets traded for the one with armrests. The stairs get replaced by the elevator. Each small avoidance removes a demand on the muscle, and each removal allows a little more loss. The straight leg raise strengthens the quadriceps without loading the knee. It takes 5 minutes. You can start tomorrow morning before your feet touch the floor. If you want more like this, there are other videos on the channel covering strength and mobility after 60.